Across the world, the right to vote is considered the cornerstone of democracy. Yet in the United States, voting access has never been equal.
After the Civil War, the Reconstruction period focused on reintegrating former Confederate states, rebuilding the South, and defining the legal status of 4 million newly freed African Americans. The passage of the Reconstruction Acts in 1867 and the 15th Amendment in 1870 allowed newly freed men to both vote and run for office.
Several thousand freedmen were elected to public office, spanning every level of government. They reshaped the South, taxing wealthy landowners for the first time, funding public education for all citizens, and advocating for civil rights legislation. For a moment, multiracial democracy flourished, and so did the possibility of economic justice.
But that progress soon came under attack.
When Reconstruction ended, around 1877, white lawmakers and militias colluded to destroy the freedmen's newly gained power. The Jim Crow era had officially begun. Hundreds of black officials were brutalized or outright murdered. Groups like the Ku Klux Klan and White League also used terror to keep black voters from exercising their constitutional rights.
In Mississippi's 1890 Constitution, the state instituted the literacy test and poll tax, both of which were designed to disqualify black voters.
Other states copied the model. Louisiana's so-called Understanding Clause resulted in the disqualification of black and poor white voters who were forced to read and explain a portion of Louisiana's Constitution.
Alabama's Grandfather Clause allowed white men whose fathers or grandfathers had participated in elections before the Civil War to vote without paying a poll tax.
The results were immediate. In Louisiana, black voter registration dropped 99% in just 8 years, from 130,000 to 1,300. By silencing black voices, white elites preserved control over land, wages, financial institutions, and access to political recourse. Voting wasn't just a political tool, it represented access to wealth and power.
But isn't our country supposed to be a meritocracy? Political power shouldn't affect access to wealth.
Whoever controls the ballot controls the budget. When you shut people out of voting, you shut them out of decision-making. Politicians at all levels regularly change standard voting requirements to prevent black people from achieving political power and accessing the means to wealth.
As the black population in the South grew, voter exclusion strategies expanded. Political parties, legally deemed private entities and exempt from federal law, adopted rules excluding black men from party membership. Party exclusion led to all-white primaries, which allowed white politicians to control who ran for office. For the next half-century, black men had little remaining access to political engagement.
In 1965, after years of lobbying by civil rights groups and the brutal murders of voting rights activists James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Schwerner during Freedom Summer, the Voting Rights Act was passed. The legislation outlawed literacy tests and poll taxes, added protections to preserve majority black districts from dilution, and finally removed the Jim Crow barriers that had kept many black women from voting.
By the end of 1965, 250,000 new black voters had been registered. However, with every win, new barriers continued to emerge. Beginning in the 1970s, felony disenfranchisement laws stripped millions of voting rights, mostly black men caught in the net of mass incarceration. In 2013, the Supreme Court's Shelby County v. Holder decision effectively gutted the 1965 Voting Rights Act's Oversight Clause, allowing states to redistrict without judicial review and to reduce voter access to the polls.
Disparities in voting persist. Polling places in black neighborhoods continue to shutter. Gerrymandering dilutes the black vote. And a recent Supreme Court ruling sharply limits one of the key tools used to challenge district maps.
I've always had an easy time voting. I didn't realize my access to voting was connected to my community's access to wealth.
You inherited a voting system designed to benefit you. Imagine the opportunities my community might access if we had the same level of government representation as your community has.
The 10-to-1 racial wealth gap is not an accident. It is an engineered outcome of generations of discriminatory policies, including voting.
The movement for reparative justice is about securing economic redress. restoring stolen wealth, correcting laws that suppress Black economic development, and ensuring that future generations have the opportunities our ancestors were denied.